Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money. It's the last week of October, and we've got a sports Equinox for everybody to get into tonight. Exciting card. Holy cow, we got a ton of action out there tonight. We've got, of course, the World Series Game 3. Yankees getting on home to host them Dodgers down 2-0. Monday night football, prime time action with Danny Dimes. Oh, man, Steelers. Monday night action galore. A huge hockey card. We're going to dive in tonight. We've got, I think there's like 13 games in play. We're going to cover Nashville. We'll get into that Tampa spot. We'll cover Toronto and the Jets. We've got Sharks in Utah. We'll go Calgary and Vegas. NBA's been treating us well. It continues to do us right. We're going to get into two spots tonight. We've got the Cavs and the Knicks. We've got the Rockets and the Spurs. And I'm going to not give you guys a parlay out here. I asked you guys by way of tweet today over there at Sports Money Wins. Which would you rather see? Seems the majority don't care. They just want a winner. And that's good enough for me. So looking forward to it. Going to be a ton of fun to get into tonight's card. I think the player prop parlay is 68-1. I know what you're saying. 68-1. Seems big. Seems excessive. Your boy smashed an over 200-1 last night. 5 touchdown parlays, tight end Equinox, or tight end day, or whatever the hell they call it. So I'm fired up. I'm feeling good about getting after it. We almost hit the touchdown prop I gave out for you guys with 1 o'clock. Tyreek Hill let us down. But I told you guys umpteen times. Tight end day. What did I say? The top three. Top 3. Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, and then a Kittle. Blanked on Kittle. Top 3. That was 16-1 if you play just those 3 out there. So it's all good stuff. Let's see. Barry's telling me my picture is lagging. Let's see. Let's see indeed. We'll see what happens. Let's get after it today. Again, we've got a big card, so there's never enough time, is there? Never enough time in the day to get after it, you guys. But if you haven't done so already, maybe this helps. Let me do this. Let me do that. I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let me try this real quick. Don't you go anywhere. We got a big card. All right, let's see if that's any better. We're back. We're ready to attack. I told you guys, don't you go anywhere. What do you mean? Give you guys a prelude that we've got a shitload of plays and we're not going to give them out to you guys? Come on. Hit that thumbs up button, though, you guys. That does help an absolute ton. You guys did a great job with it over the weekend. Look, guys, start seeing them thumbs up. Come in here. You know how long it takes to put together a 10-leg card for you guys? 10 legs? I mean, I come out here and just put my plays up on the board and read them off to you guys, but I try to give you a little insight as to how and why I got there. It takes time. It doesn't, however, take you any time to close that chat button, hit that thumbs up button, then pop the chat button open and we can get back going. Let's do so right now. All right, you guys. Again, thumbs up is super important. We're going to provide more content and more options for you guys, more gambling content with those tools and technology aforementioned by way of your guys' thumbs up. It does take a lot of time to put that stuff out there. So very much appreciate those that are religious about doing it, taking the time to comment in the videos. I see you guys. We very much appreciate that. Just need you guys to hit the thumbs up button. Literally, it takes a second. And we will continue to provide, especially on the community post out there. Joe T's been firing away. We're giving you guys that consensus reports on Saturday morning for college members only plays out there. Man, you would think with over 300 members. Yeah, 300 members. Can you believe it? I remember when we had 3 people on our first stream. With 300 members, should be able to get more than 30 thumbs up button. Man. But I'm fired up. It's not going to hold us back tonight. We're going to get this week started. It is the last week of October. We're either going to try to close the gap if you've been having a tough month, or we're going to start to give you that lead in so that you can pay your mortgages for the next month again. Man, I hit that monster spot. By the way, this thing is bouncing all over the place, isn't it? By the way, yesterday, all NFL Sunday, 2-0. 2-0 trend. If you played the Lions the last week, you lose this week. Why is it 2-0? Because the Dallas Cowboys played the Lions. Then they had a bye. Then they got thumped by them Niners and Kittle. Made me sweat just a little bit for that last touchdown legger out there. So very much keep that one in mind if you just played the Lions. Now, who does that apply to this week? Who does that apply to this week? If you guys have been paying attention in football, I'm trying to help. The Tennessee Titans. Now, the Tennessee Titans will go into New England next week. They will have an early start. They will be facing off against none other than Nick May. How about Mr. Number 1 on the shit list over there, Aaron Rodgers? That guy might have a permanent home on the sports money shit list, albeit can definitely make some money off this guy. What a bum. What an absolute bum. I don't know. He's got a lot of weapons around him. Is it his fault they're not winning? Yeah. Because you're a 40-year-old field general with a Super Bowl underneath your belt. Lead them boys by example. Not by being a scumbag pointing fingers and coming up with excuses. But you're on the Patriots. You made some good money yesterday. What else happened in the league yesterday? How about this? This is a real thing. The Chicago Bears are protesting the Hail Mary that was Jaden Daniels' comeback monster effort. They get that Hail Mary 18-15 off a tip pass. Dude's taunting the stands. He's the guy that's supposed to block the receiver. He tips it into his hands and they score. Well, apparently there were 3 or 4 clear indications of holding on the offense. So they're going to protest it. They've got their write-ups. They're sending their video evidence, and apparently the NFL is giving strong consideration to overturning that call. Now, you might say, well, the game's over. What happens? What happens is they fly their asses back out to Washington and they play that final down of the game. Yeah, I'd look it up. I couldn't believe it. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens with that spot out there. I couldn't believe it. And that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I cashed some commander spots out there. So, it is what it is if you guys were on the Bears side of things. But it would be kind of cool to see a circle jerk that is flying everybody back out. That's kind of what makes me think it probably won't happen. But some backdoor covers. The Raiders find a way to sneak it in and cover the backdoor on the Chiefs. I'll tell you what. I looked it up. You know what? I started looking it up and I forgot. You guys know I'm not big in the futures market, and in New York State, you can't get involved in some of these futures mid-season. So there's a lot against me in this prop. We're going to price shop it. I'll come back to you guys. Let's see here. NFL MVP. I mean, we all saw what, the tush push did yesterday in Cincinnati, right? How could it not be Jalen Hurts? Because I have a feeling it's Josh Allen. This dude has turned, all the things you could ask from a quarterback. He's reduced his turnovers on the year. He's not running as much, but when he does, he gets big chunks. He keeps the drives going by dink and dunking, affecting all of his wide receivers. Now you add Amari Cooper to that offensive lineup, and they look explosive. Now, let's not take away from the Eagles demolishing the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday, but the AFC East is troubled. The Bills with 6 wins. The rest of the AFC has 6 wins combined. I don't think the winner's coming out of there. Then you look on the other side of things. The first touchdown pass thrown by none other than Patty Mahomes since September. I'd look it up. 1 touchdown pass thrown in the month of October for Patrick Mahomes. Now they're winning, but is that MVP caliber? I don't think so. Joey Burrow's been fired. There's no question. Joey Burrow, and then, of course, Baker Mayfield with their touchdown completions and yardage ratios might be something. But if the Bills steamroll out of that AFC East with that young talent that they have, Josh Allen's got to be the guy to recognize for that opportunity. So we'll take a look and find some player props to get NFL MVP futures on there, because I do think that's a look to go out there and cook the book. So what else happened this weekend? Well, UFC went down. Early morning card. Not a big fan of those early morning cards. They hurt. They definitely hurt. It wasn't my best UFC card, but again, thank goodness for a nice NFL Sunday. Got us back to neutral. So I think we're there. You know, we've got this Monday night game to talk about here. Oh, the other team, of course, was the Vikings, right? The Vikings played the Lions last week, and then, you know, they got busted up by the Rams. I believe, yeah, that was earlier this week. That was the earlier spot this week. So, and then as far as Baker Mayfield's concerned, I mean, getting in a battle with the Falcons, kind of back and forth and struggling to hang on to a game isn't how you go out there and get NFL MVP status. So, Packers, shout out to our guy, Fraser Sharp Picks. But we talked about it. Jordan Love is Charmin soft, baby. That dude is just a fucking walking injury waiting to be confirmed on the report on a weekly basis. So, and then, of course, knocked me out of Survivor, the Baltimore Ravens losing to the Cleveland Browns. Now, breaking news today is Crab Legs is going to be the starting quarterback for Cleveland going forward. No shit. You mean you sucked with Deshaun Watson? You traded all your pieces away? You finally win a game when it's backs against the wall and you down back and forth battle your division rivals, and you okay. I guess we needed to know he was going to be the quarterback, because surprise. But let's get to work, you guys. Time to go. We got to get this thing moving here. Not enough time in the day to do it. We'll rapid fire. You know the deal. Thumbs up button, number 1. Number 2, grab that pen and paper. We just gave you an NFL play for this coming week. New England Patriots. Doesn't matter what the number is. New England Patriots. You already got the first NFL. We're not even, this will be the first time. No, it won't be. I gave you guys that giant spot. That was dead nuts under. It was like 33 in a row to the under, 34 in a row to the under. Gave you that one on a Monday. I'm giving you this one on a Monday. Let's see what the line is. Let's see what the line is here. Let's take a look. Because no shit, blind play at this point. Just fire. And right now, 3. Oh, man. What's the money line on this thing? This line's going to move. I can't believe we're doing an early look ahead spot here already. This line is going to move. Plus 142. DraftKings and FanDuel are posting the money line for that Patriots side. But the plus 3 has got some heat coming in on it right now. Kind of makes sense if you think about what happened last week. But, I mean, all the money's coming. This is sharp money, right? Nobody's betting the NFL this week unless you're not betting week 9 NFL unless you're rocking and rolling with some big bankroll or some sharp money coming in. 85% of the bets and 93% of the cash are on the Patriots right now. So there you go. Write that shit down and let's go. Get your best bets in the chat so that we can recognize what you guys are on out there. My guy Joe T, commenter number 1, back from Vegas. He's ready to attack. He'll be joining us this week live, back in the saddle. He's got the Panthers and the Sabres over 6. I did run the numbers. I did update KV. 20-1 to the under is the current run for the Florida Panthers on Thursday nights. 20-1 to the under. There's another one for you guys. Write that one on down, highlight it, circle it. Oh, by the way, the Goathead jersey's back in play. Next Goathead jersey for the Sabres is coming up in a couple of days. They're now 1-0 to start this season off in the Goathead jerseys after an easy cruise control victory on Saturday. There's another one to write down. Let's go. The real Jolly Roger. Here's some stuff to write down. He's giving you guys the Suns first quarter minus 1.5. 3-0 first quarters and beat the Lakers by 15 in the first on Friday. Impressive. Shout out to NJ Striker. David Wallace says, hard to believe that tight end play yesterday. 15 touchdowns from tight ends was yesterday. I smacked the 5 spot. Kincaid and Laporta were the other 2 from the original 3 that I gave you guys. So should have just put that out there in the, look, I gave you a plus 21,000. Would you have played it? Would you have played it? I know a bunch of guys didn't. Shout out to Justin McKelvey says sports money is money. Stop Geoengineer. Trisha M's in the house. She's ready to go. Barry says took some Fryermuth for 2+ touchdowns. Why not? It's tight end day. Daryl Jones says, what's up, Pimp and Crew? Best bet. George Pickens anytime touchdown at plus 200. Stop Geo says Grady Dick 20+ points at plus 400. Damn. Grady Dick. Gonna get some. 20+ points. Stop. Shout out to you, Stop Geo. Yep. Gonzo's in the house. He's rolling. Keith from Each Every Strides here. He's got Jalen Warren first touchdown plus 1,100. Also his anytime touchdown at plus 300, giving us a good luck. Jay Peasy. Hopefully it's better picture for you guys. Ramon Scott says, yes, better. Did you do a hocus pocus? I just had to leave the studio and come back in. You know, they got this little button in the corner that shows you your connection. It's always 3 when I start. And then for some reason, when it goes through, it must suck a lot of juice. I don't know about that. Start to smoke and mirrors. Let's go. Jay Peasy says, oh, snap. Welcome back to Earth. Rob McMahon says, hashtag Baca style. Slay over 2.5 receptions plus money. Listen, if you guys came in earlier, we could start earlier. Very much be the case out there. All about them nips. Says, what up, Pimp Slap Crew? Go Steelers. NJ Striker says, put Jordan Mason on the shit list. Cost me money. We'll have to take a vote for a new shit list. Maybe we'll do that over the course of the next week or so. Try to come up with a couple of new names out there. JPC's been cashing on Winnipeg live. Bet them when they were down. I was thinking Leafs were live tonight. Leafs own the Jets, but I can't get there. I think the Leafs get the next win at home versus Seattle. Steve says, so when do the Vikings get to go finish the game with the bullshit face mask against? Well, I don't think the league accepted the protest. That's very much a true situation out there. Shout out to you guys, and let's go. Keith says he drove out to Connecticut to put in an Allen MVP bet last month. I remember you talking about driving out there, Keith. In full fairness, we were a couple cocktails deep. I don't remember exactly what you said. What's the numbers you got? It's very important to know what number you got so that we can benchmark that against what we have for numbers now, because I might be a believer. I've been critical on this guy. How about Stephon Diggs? I said cut his ass 2 years ago. Get rid of him. Just fucking outright release him. Who cares? He's got a torn, well, it's unofficially torn ACL, I believe, is what he's dealing with right now. Going for a second opinion out there. Just don't like his attitude. Shout out to Markel in the house. Jay Main. Stop it, Joe T. Rams aren't the best team in NFL. They just were in the right spot at the right time is what that happened there. Trisha M likes a New York parlay tonight. Dak Prescott is the MVP this year. If you ask the other team's secondaries, Juggler 23. Heat 7-22 against the spread, laying 6 points or more at home. They're terrible at home when they're laying any kind of number, aren't they? Heat at home in non-division games, laying 6+ or 4-17. Sounds like a fate of the Heat. You had me at Heat laying 6. They're terrible in that spot. Sturt and company likes Colorado -1.5, Utah -1.5, and Vegas -1.5 out there. Trisha M says, JPZ, Manny Diaz said, thank you, sir. Sturt and company likes the Panthers and the Lightning in a parlay. There's Joe W, Dana Delp. Time to get going, you guys. Shout out to our guy, Nutflush is in the house. Says, popping in Wendell. Alternate over 50, over 60 receiving yards for a little Wendell action for them New York Giants. Markel says, fuck the Suns. Fuck the Suns. Let's go. Todd Clinton's in the house. Shout out to Todd Clinton. This is hammering the over in Tampa and Nashville tonight at 8.5 or 6.5. Philly Eagle Flyers got the best name in the business. Says Canes, Vegas, Avs, Utah, Moneyline Parlay. Oh, you know what I wanted to look for? Something just reminded me of that. Shout out to Skunk Blaster. There's Trans-Canada in the house. He had a lot to say on Saturday about them Flyers. Huh? Trans-Canada? You talk all that shit. You don't think I don't remember? My dude? Come on. Now, they shit the bed yesterday, but they also started the first Belarusian goalie of NHL history. First Belarusian goalie of NHL history. And he got lit up like a Christmas tree. But it is what it is. It's okay. Yeah, man. Joe, I know, dude. I know. And it was so early that we had the rest of them, too, that I know. And then I missed one in the afternoon by, I can't remember who it was. I did an ungodly amount of touchdown props. I've been fucking dialed into some of these defenses and offenses. I can't wait to share them with you guys tonight. It's not about yesterday. It's about what we can do today. Dale Fix says, for what it's worth, the Steelers won 21 straight on Monday night, going back to 1992. Dale Fick, I agree. There's no way the Giants Danny Dimes in primetime? What is he, 1-15? There's no way the Giants come out there and win this game, right? There's no way. There's my little prelude to what's going on tonight. Let's jump into this thing, you guys. We got to go. Last Friday. Shit the bed here. 30 seconds left, and they score a goal to go into overtime, then win. First game of the back-to-back spot out there, too, right? We talked about the tired legs for second half teams like the Devils, and then the Islanders were in the first half spot. We did cash here. Nashville under 6. We did not cash with the big bomb. We did not cash with the Sixers first half. We did cash. Man, what I say? Do I think they went outright? Maybe. But I didn't bet it. And they easily won that game outright. And the Rockets presented tremendous live betting value. You can get the Rockets all the way up to +9 in that game Friday. Boston College with an outrighter. UNLV shit the bed. Sadly for UNLV. Unless they make it back to the Mountain West and beat them boys in a rematch, the window has closed on their playoff championships out there. That game had playoff implications already. And then the Yankees and Soda. I went to my buddy's house on Saturday. And needless to say, he's a huge Yankees fan. And we went out for a little bit and got back for the game. And I kept calling Freddie Freeman his boy. He got so pissed. If you call fucking Freddie Freeman my boy one more time, you got to leave. It was fun. It was a fun weekend. Yeah. I don't just shit talk my buddies on camera. I shit talk them in real life. But I didn't lose money in that spot, so it was disappointing. So, all in all, another. So let's stack them up, let them fly. We're in the hunt, though. We had a good week all in all. Let's see if we can string together some winning days now on the regular. So here we go. Let's talk about this big parlay spot that's out there. We'll start with Juan Soto in the RBI game out there. It's Walker Buehler. What do you want to say? Fucking guy. I guess the biggest thing for me is Juan Soto. Now, you'll see when we get to this Yankees game, I have a way that I'm choosing to pick on a couple of guys, like Aaron Judge, particularly, because he's been non-existent. Guy's literally on the back of the milk carton. But Juan Soto, lefty against Buehler. 350, 40 at-bats with 4 home runs in that mix up there. Hasn't done shit. They've been walking him. They're scared of this guy. They know his effectiveness throughout the postseason, the month of September and into October. Definitely a guy that can get on base. I just went for the RBI. The over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs would be the secondary play if you were nervous about the RBI because it is priced around +195. You can get that Juan Soto hit, run, and RBI at -115 on DraftKings. Then I went back to our guy Durin, rebound champion out there. Now this line's coming down. Full disclosure, this line is coming down. But I don't know why. We just talked about the Miami Heat, right? And our guy Juggler gave us the shit stats for the Miami Heat when they're laying 6 points or more. And then go back to the numbers. We cashed with our boy the other day. He's averaging plenty of minutes. Key number one to being out there in a game where they should be involved because we know that the Heat don't cover spreads when they're at 6 or greater. So you shouldn't be seeing minutes restrictions because they're getting busted up. One of the most heavily involved centers in the NBA. Guy is a rebounding machine. He's got the length, and the length is the advantage that he has over Bam Adebayo, who matches up on the other side for the Miami Heat. The Heat are allowing third most rebounds per game at 62.5. The height advantage is the reason I wanted to jump into our guy at 10.5. And the fact it's coming down means this goes up in terms of price. I went to Najee Harris. That's Najee Harris for, this is the Equinox. 1, 2, 3. We got them all. We got them all in play. Najee Harris. Look, the Giants are the worst run defense in the NFL. Hands down, worst. And the Steelers are one of the heaviest run offenses when they get into the red zone. This guy is priced as the favorite on the card, sitting around plus 105. It was plus 110, so it is catching some steam as well at plus 105 here by post of the show. That is Steve Stamkos. You might say, who? Well, he was all over Tampa. He won plenty of Stanley Cups, got traded off to Nashville. And if you're paying attention to the schedule, guess who's coming back to Tampa? This will be the game that they give the player tribute ceremony to Steve Stamkos because they only play twice this year. I think this is the only time the Predators will play in Tampa, if I remember correctly. And so we'll spend 5 minutes pregame celebrating all the Stanley Cups and glorious goals that Stamkos won. He's a machine on a team that needs him to go fire it up. And he has got 0 goals this season. Steve Stamkos was brought in for like a $10 or $11 million contract to be the guy to help push Nashville over the hump. Hasn't done shit yet this year, and it's coming back home season with this Tampa Bay spot. And then last but not least, Jack Eichel. What did I learn today? Jack Eichel's birthday. Vegas 6-0 to the over at home. This guy is priced as the biggest favorite to get. He's plus 130, but he's the least priced, I guess is the best way to say it. He's the least priced guy on the card. First line center, first line power play, gets the ice time, leads the squad. And it's Jack Eichel on his birthday to wrap up a goal in what should be a goal fest between Calgary and the Vegas Golden Knights. 6-0 to the over at home. That first period over has been firing as well. Keep your eyes on Jack Eichel tonight, plus 130 to get an anytime goal. Makes that plus 66.89. We'll see. KV says Soto or Stanton. I don't know. Skunk Blasters is always stirring the pot. It'll be interesting to see how it all works out here. It's what I like to see. A little soccer action. Is that, oh no, it's not soccer. That's not a soccer ball. It's a star. Is it a star or soccer ball? No, it is soccer. On Seattle and under 2.5. Likes the Cincy double chance and both teams to score. So that would be what? Cincy draw or win outright. And then both teams to score in that Cincinnati game as well. So we love to see that. Love to see that. Love to see some soccer action. Okay. Who Stamkos got 1 goal? Did I miss it? Sorry. Still same rule applies for me. Steve Stamkos going out there back home, ready to fire on his old team. Nasty Nate, only right. Says the Celtics smash. Ricky Levine. Bam Slap, what's cracking? NHL plays Jets 12-0 as favorites. The last 12 Calgary, last 12 Sharks. Calgary. Major League Baseball Yankees first 5. Okay. So it's likes the Jets, it sounds like. The Sharks, the Flames, and the Yankees first 5. I got you. My brother. Thank you for sharing. Nasty Nate said it. We got to get everybody. You know, look, we average over 100 heads up in here. Concurrent. I get the data. 100 plus heads. I think we're up to 106 or 107. Watching the whole show. Got to be to 100. Got to get to 100 thumbs up, you guys. It does mean a lot. It does help a ton. Just that parlay alone. The amount of time to scrub through and find that thing just to come back here and share something with you guys that I'm excited about, that I've got my money on, is what it comes down to. And all I ask you guys to do is hit that thumbs up button. So not that much effort to do just that. Let's go on. Let's get into hockey. We've got 4 games in the NHL. We'll pick the pace up here and we'll get this show on the road because Monday Night Football is here. Oops, the Sports Equinox parlay. I love a Sports Equinox parlay, man. Get a little bit of action in 4 sports, and they have to become, some of the favorite looks out there. Otherwise, there's other guys to find. So let's talk Nashville and Tampa Bay. Big thing with these two spots here. I mentioned the Stamkos coming home party. Should be a lot of bullshit, a lot of movie circle jerking out there. Still unconfirmed official goalies. Jussi Saros at a 2-4 season with a 2.74 goals against average, 90.8% save percentage. He's okay. Not quite he's not the serviceable bucket, but he's okay. He's a little bit better than serviceable. And then Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky's been playing a ton, but remember, Tampa had that extended stop to the season because of good old Hurricane Milt that shut everything down. So he's 4-3 on the season, which seems like a lot of games to have been played at this point of the season, but the spacing and the gap in between is so huge. And he's okay. 2.64 goals against average, 89.6% save percentage out there. Coming off a shutout. Coming off a way to figure out how to shut down that red-hot Washington Capitals team. Gave that out on Saturday. Gave you guys that Tampa spot. I think those hockey plays went 4-1 on Saturday after the live stream. So starting to dial in a little bit more to hockey here. And, look, big money coming in. This number has moved in the Tampa Bay direction. Lots of people going out there saying, Stamkos goal, Stamkos goal. It makes sense. This is the Stamkos coming out party. The game will end up being delayed. It's already a 7:30 start. That means they probably won't even tip off until 7:45. And look, Tampa's been in a tough spot. Win one, lose one. They're struggling to get some traction. They had that Canadian road trip. But again, schedule fuckery has kind of pushed them off their game. And the Predators have found a way to win 3 games in a row. But hold on. They barely beat Columbus 4-3. They barely beat Chicago 3-2. They did shut out Boston 4-0. So not all records are created the same. And in fact, in this case here, the way I looked at this one, pretty straightforward. Should be goals. Home favorites when they have, a situation where they have at least a day's rest. Blast the total over for whatever reason. 10-3 to the over in its last 13 spots out there. They've been cooking. They're also winning straight up. But the biggest one for me is Tampa Bay. Short non-conference home favorite. They're 10-0. When you catch them at a price and you're thinking, is this a trappy spot? It's not. They're 10-0, and they're smoking teams by over 2.25 goals a game in those spots out there. Furthermore, short non-conference road dogs after overtime and beat the opponent, so it's a revenge spot, are 0-9. And they're losing those games by over 2 goals a spot. This is not just a value play, but it should be a knockdown dragout for us. Tampa Bay. Now, Nashville, you can argue with that narrative that Nashville is going to want to go out there and win this game for, Stamkos. They're going to want to F the Stamkos. They're going to want to F the Tampa Bay celebration parade up out there. But just because I want to win a plus 2,000 parlay, plus 20,000 parlay, doesn't mean it happens every day. I'm going to grind to win a plus $21,000 parlay. You got to grind. I don't care if they want this win for him or not. This is a great intersecting 0 spot for us in the NHL. It's a tremendous value spot. And we're going to move on. We're going to take this Tampa Bay team, the better goalie, settling into the fact that they're back at home now. Things are neutralizing, normalizing, and they're ready to roll. Let's go. Jay Main says, Trisha, you can do fake views on here. Better not be doing fake views. No. I see the concurrent. Yeah, the Twitter stuff adds up too, but I see the concurrent. YouTube only counts the concurrent as far as who's watching the entire time. And it's exciting to see the growth. It's exciting to see us kicking off, taking off like a rocket ship to that Pluto that JPZ was mentioned. Let's move on. Of course, we got to keep winning. That's the key component to this whole thing. Another 7:30 start. This is going to be a little bit of an early start for that, the Mountain West? With the Jets and the Maple Leafs. And holy shit, don't look now. The Jets are on fire. They've won 8 in a row. There's no way a team that wins 8 in a row loses to a team that's lost 3 in a row, right? I mean, the Maple Leafs are 4-4. This is free money. This is free money on the Winnipeg Jets. But not so fast. Pump your fucking brakes. Big spots that we're looking at here. The first one, again, is a goal fest. Home favorites with the day's rest opportunity here. But look, Toronto not only owns Winnipeg, but they actually have keys to the barn. When they roll in there, the Winnipeg Jets have to ask them to come down to the stadium and open it up for them. That's how significant Toronto is when they're playing out there. 9-2, its last 11 in Winnipeg. They beat them 5 straight times as well. They got their number. Now, here's the funny thing about it. Pounding 79% of the bets, 77% of it. I know we don't spend a lot of time looking at it, but money is pouring in on the Jets. Why not? Toronto's lost 3 in a row. Winnipeg's unbeaten. Why did this number flip and Toronto's now a favorite? Ask yourselves. Furthermore, Toronto's in a position where they're spending some money. Jake McCabe just gets the 5-year, $5 million contract extension. I guess it's like $4.5 million contract extension today. That's a big deal. Jake McCabe is a captain on that defense. Now, let me tell you what happens when these boys sign big contracts and go on the road. I'm not going to tell you all the details. I'm just going to tell you there's some fuckery that goes on. Big expensive dinners. Guys loosen up. They pound a couple too many back because they celebrate with their teammate. Then they make that teammate pick up that big check. So either they've had it done before or the plan is to go out tonight and crush cocktails and get after it. That's going to loosen this team up a little bit. You got a spot for this Winnipeg Jets team that, again, 8-0. No doubt about what they've done being tremendous. We made a lot of money taking this Winnipeg Jets team because we know the Hellebuck factor. This guy's that Vezina Trophy winner, and he's shown nothing but a propensity to shut people down. You know, Kyle Connor's obviously a key component to this offense that's happening out there with Winnipeg. But look, Winnipeg's about to start a new road trip. They're about to go to Detroit and then Columbus. So they'll have a little travel midweek here. And this is a little weird sandwich spot because they had 3 travel games in a row: St. Louis, Seattle, and Calgary. So now they come home for a cup of coffee. Then they fire back up and go back on the road. It's a weird spot for this this Winnipeg Jets team. I was trying to find the goalies. Bear with me here. Goaltender-wise, it looks like we're going to get a little matchup between Stolarz, likely for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Hellebuck, likely for the Winnipeg Jets. Now, many moons ago, and by many moons, I mean last year, my brother and I were talking. And he said, 2 Canadian teams, every time they battle, it's a score fest. I said, seems like it, doesn't it? Then we looked, and we saw 6 being the pivot number. If the line is set at 6.5, it sails over the number. If the line's set at 6, though, we get pushes or under 75% of the time. So that half a goal is a key component here. I see 6s and I see 6.5s out there. I see it juiced to the under in 6.5, which leads me to believe a little bit about this opportunity for this game to fly on the underside of things here. I can't believe we still don't have goaltenders, but Stolarz is definitely the better of the guys between this Toronto Maple Leafs team out there. He's got a 2.18 goals against average. He's rolling around a 93% save percentage out there. Did allow 4 goals on 32 shots against Boston in a 4-3 loss. So he's probably looking to bounce back. But he did allow 2 or fewer goals in 5 straight games before that. So we got a motivated team with a captain on defense that just got a big contract. The boys are planning a big dinner. Things are loose. They don't care that Winnipeg's 8-0. They're fucking 11-2 in the last 13 against Winnipeg. They say, we'll let you in when we're good and goddamn ready out there. Winnipeg better be ready because I got these guys at even money. It's now minus 110, which I still like. I think this is a great spot for Toronto. So, hey, if you like Toronto or if you like Winnipeg at minus 120, you got to love it at minus 105. Shop around. Let me see what some of these numbers look like now. 115s, 113s. This number continues to grow towards Toronto. That should be a red flag if you're looking at Winnipeg right there. Big red flag out there. I know some of you guys like them early. Just my 2 cents on the way I see this game going. You know, we don't spend a lot of time with the psychological approach to how this thing happens, but there is something to be said for that. And I know these guys are getting ready. So that being said, though, Hellebuck, I get it. Look, you want to take a chance? You definitely, the best goaltender in the league. Question is, can Winnipeg score enough goals to get past this Toronto team in a spot I expect to be lower scoring? If this is a 2-1, 3-1 type of game, I think Toronto comes out on top of this thing here. Don't be afraid to look at Austin Matthews. He likes to score out here. He's the cheapest price guy on the board. And I like Kyle Connor. I like Kyle Connor to get a point. Look for Connor to get a point out there if you're looking for a same game parlay. Mitchie Marner to get a point. Mitchie Marner to get an assist is probably even the better way to go out there because he will be partnered up there with Austin Matthews and getting top line time. Fuck. Can't get the points on the fly here with this thing, but that's okay. That is okay. What do you guys think about that Winnipeg spot, huh? I was cheering for that parlay. I was cheering hard. I've got another one today, so we'll see. We'll see what's going on out there. Connor, 8-game scoring streak. I love you guys, man. Ricky Levine coming in, dropping some knowledge out there. Jets out in the first round. Well, that was our call last year, right? Or was that me laughing at the Jets backers? I don't remember. I don't remember how it all went down. There's Trans Canada. This is when you speak of my beloved Winnipeg Jets. Let's use the holiest of language, please, and thank you. How about the tough time beating the fucking Flyers, Trans Canada? I said it. You saw how hot them Flyers were on Saturday, my guy. Don't you forget that. All right, let's go. Onward and upward, if you guys like that one. You might love this one, or you might stop watching. Look, San Jose Sharks have lost 10 in a row or 9 in a row. There's no way. There's no way they win against Utah today. Right? Right? Come on. Stupid. Crazy. Mackenzie Blackwood starting for the Sharks, struggling 0-3-2, of course. But the biggest thing about that is he's played 50% of their games out there. Serviceable. He's allowed 3 or fewer goals in 3 of his last 4 games. Connor Ingram, 4-2-1. But how about this 4.39 goals against average, 86.2% saving out there. Terrible save percentage. This team was scoring a shit ton of goals. That's why they were winning. If you remember the start of the season, right? We talked about this opportunity and we said, well, they're scoring 5+ goals a game. Can they maintain that pace? That is the giant question mark that's out there. And we faded away on them boys the other day, right? We took that Colorado spot. A bunch of guys were on the Utah Hockey Club, the Utah Yeti. And we were out there saying, sometimes you got to, now I was wrong. Sometimes you got to look at Colorado at a -140 and you got to pay the price because of that playoff team factor with that trend that we looked at. But we got an easy casher out there. Colorado beat the shit out of this Utah Hockey Club. And remember, we talked about this team at the start of the season. They're getting a little pat in the back. You're a good boy. We like you. Welcome to Utah. They're rubbing their heads. You know, they're bringing them out to dinner, which is a complete transformation from the fact that Arizona was shit on the previous year. They were bought by the NHL because the owners couldn't pay for the team, couldn't afford salaries, couldn't afford to pay the taxes on the stadium that they had. They ended up playing in a college hockey barn, which had to be a cool experience if you were on the road, which is why guys get fired up and they kick the shit out of you. So Utah was being told they're a good boy. They piddled on the carpet. Everyone said, oh, that's okay. You'll learn. And now they're learning. They're dealing with some adversity early in the season, and they're coming back to the team that they were. This is that fucking Arizona Hockey Club. They're now 1-4 in their last 5 games. The thing is, yeah, they lose to LA 3-2. I mean, that was that easy under because we knew that LA just came back from Vegas. They got busted up by Colorado. It was 5-1. I was wrong. I thought it was 4-1. It's 5-1. They got shut out by Ottawa, 4-0. They did beat Boston. That was at home. But they lost to the Ducks prior to that 5-4 as well. So they're playing tight hockey games. Now you can argue goals against average, the advantage falls on the Sharks. You could argue a team we know the 10s. What happens at 10s? We like to jump on that other side. And look, I let the air out of the tires with this one. I'll tell you guys, I'm taking the San Jose Sharks team here. Not often do you hear me say that a team shouldn't be a -265 or 270. But in this case, the teams that have been there so far have been the Edmonton Oilers. We've seen the Colorado Avalanche. We've seen even the Nashville Predators, I believe, and we're in one of those spots. We've seen Vegas. We've seen Winnipeg in several of those spots. Then you got Utah. Well, which of those teams doesn't belong? Utah. I think this is a good Shark spot. You can catch the Sharks on the puck line because keep in mind, a lot of one-goal games for this Utah Hockey Club. But at the end of the day, they're slowing down in scoring. Now when they piss on the carpet, they're getting swatted in the ass with a newspaper. It's no longer okay. Go outside if you're going to piss, is what's happening out there with this Utah Hockey Club. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for it. Now, home favorites, off a loss. Well, they're just sitting at 500. They're also 4-10 against the spread. Away dogs off a loss, 16-5 to the over. Away dog off a loss, 16-5 in the over. Why is that important? Even though we're talking about 500 teams straight up in that home favorite off a loss situation. Because we just talked about scoring slowing down for Utah. So if the NHL trend is scoring is going up and we've got the better goaltending for San Jose, simple mathematics. We take a shot with this plus 230. It's now plus 228s, plus 220s, plus 215s, and plus 210s out there. This number's dropping. It went up. Everybody liked Utah, surprisingly, at a 265. Now it's starting to settle back down. Sharks catch their first win of the season tonight. You'll remember where you heard it here first. You might not agree, but we'll laugh afterwards because they get that cash for us, baby. Shout out to my guy, Guillermo Zertucci, says Utah minus a half in the first period. Ricky Levine says Utah's lost 4 of their last 5. Yep. Old E says Trisha M. Freezer empty. Bad day to be cute, delicious, and walk on 4 legs. If it's brown, it's down. That's how I feel about the whiskey. If it's brown, we're going to slam it down, especially if that San Jose Sharks comes on and wins tonight. I might go live when those Sharks win tonight. Fucking stuck down a half a bottle of Jack Daniels with you guys if you're so inclined. Cameron Sinet says Pimp Slap Army. Philly Eagle Flyer likes the Utah team total over 3.5. Let's go, you guys. Shout out to KV says, hold your nose, Columbus plus 200. They won 4 of 5. It was Draisaitl birthday yesterday, too. Joe Madden info on birthday. Hold nose, sprinkle on Lil Parlay. What's going on, you guys? What's going on here? Let's see. Cameron Sinet's looking for a membership. He says, where did my membership go? I don't know, my guy. Fucking gifted out a record number this past week here. And we'll do it again. We'll do it again. If we can get this thing up to, if we can get 75 likes, we'll start off gifting a membership tomorrow. We should. We're averaging, like I said, 107, I believe is the number. Joseph Alvarado says, Sharks got to win sometime. Let today be that day. Fuck yeah. And here we go. Mike, as you do yourself this, do you truly believe San Jose wins 2-0? Sharks team total over 2.5 plus 210. There's a play I looked at today. There's a play I looked at good and hard today. Was a team to win by a shutout. I ultimately didn't take it. I'd like to consider the San Jose Sharks to win by a shutout. Now, that's getting super cute with it. Also, Toffoli, that's a guy that I looked at from a points production, a goal production on San Jose. If they're going to score and win the game, he's got to be the guy. Doesn't make any sense for him not to be, but that's an interesting spot. 2.5 at plus 10. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, ask yourself. I got you. I got you guys. KV says, if books after it, Ohtani no hit plus money, that slide still makes me mad and sad. Unfortunate, but opens up opportunity. Opens up opportunity for these Yankees. Calgary and Vegas. Let's talk about some opportunity here, boys and girls. What do we got? Got a Vegas team. Whoops. It's the benefit of no spell checker. Vegas Golden Knights 6-2-1 on their young season. Open up as a big favorite, minus 210. Everybody thought they should be crushing this Calgary Flames team, and the line has dropped. Minus 162. Total's climbing. Total is climbing. And I get it. A bunch of you guys on that first period over spot. I've heard that today. I don't disagree. However, what concerns me is this thing popped off at 5.5. For a team that's been so dead nuts over, why are we sitting at 5.5? Especially with Aiden Hill and Daniel Vladar on the bump. Daniel Vladar's 2-1-1 with a 3.63 goals against average and a 90.4% save percentage. Aiden Hill, 3-2 on the season, 3.84 goals against average, 86.4% save percentage. Stop it right there. Now ask yourself, Are these goaltenders equal? Maybe. Is there a slight edge to Calgary? Possibly. 3.63 to 3.84, 90.4 to 86.4. Yeah. Now you're opening this Vegas team at minus 210. Certainly warrants further consideration. We talked about the away dog off a loss. They punch in goals. We know the Vegas Golden Knights have been firing at home. Got it. Bad spot for this Vegas Golden Knights team. 3 games in 4 nights. They're playing a Calgary team that's not afraid to come down there and kick some ass and take some names. They're 6-0 on the puck line in Vegas in their last 6. I know that's the puck line. That's not the money line. I got it. But that suggests close games. Close games with the goaltending advantage sitting on the Calgary side of things. Oh, and by the way, we got a travel spot coming up for this Vegas Golden Knights team. They had 3 straight games at home. This will be their 4th. I mentioned 3 and 4 nights. Calgary's just starting its road trip. They're just getting excited to come down there to Vegas where they've had a lot of success in the past. They're trying to bounce back off of losses against Calgary and Winnipeg, Carolina and Winnipeg. Again, away dogs off a loss are 16 and 5. Should see that push to scoring with the stronger goaltender in net. Vegas getting ready to, take the dog to the vet or to the boarding clinic so that they can, get ready to go on the road. Getting out there fired up for a big, lengthy road trip. And you got a team in Calgary that's not scared to go out and play Vegas. They're finding success. They're scoring goals. They're starting to catch a winning train. But then they got to bounce back. I love a spot here for some Calgary Flames. In fact, if you look at this one with this Winnipeg Jets team, overall, Winnipeg's got these 2 games, Detroit and Columbus. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong team. Oops. I'm talking Winnipeg. What am I doing? Let's get it together. Get so excited about fucking fading some of these teams. I lose track of where I'm at. And where we're at is this Vegas Golden Knights team. Weird schedule spot again. So they had 3 straight home games. Now those will be their 4th. Then they got to shoot over to LA. Then they come back home for Utah. Then they got back-to-back road games. Again, this is a grueling part of the schedule coming up here. In a spot that they can get picked off by this Calgary Flames team with the better goaltender in net. Not so entirely confident about this over. But I like plus money. That's 3 of 4 games in the NHL at plus money. And that Tampa spot, was minus 120 before the show started. So I'm excited for this NHL card. I think that's going to be a good way for us to get paid. Let's keep rolling here. We've got 2 NBA games to pop off. And then we'll jump into this late night madness and get everybody rolling here. What do we got? The Knicks and the Cavaliers will be the first game that we've got. Let me get these things situated for you guys. 7:30 starts, so we're plenty of time. Plenty of time for some. Let's say 7:30 or 7:10. Jeez, I can't see now. 7. We're fine. 7:30. Line open up -3. 58% of the bets, 54% of the cash. Like the fact that this Cavaliers team is 3-0 against the spread. One of only 3 teams against the spread in the NBA this year. The Lakers, how about the Lakers fall under that criteria? That's crazy. Weird. Good chemistry, maybe. Bronny Jr. I see Bron Sr. pouring fucking Lucky Charms in his car and then telling him not to be late for practice. Yeah, that's cool. Everyone's having a good time. 85% of the bets and 87% of the cash are on the over in this Cavaliers game, yet the line has barely moved a half a point. Barely. Late move. Half a point. Why is that? Well, maybe it's because when these 2 teams play, they've had 8 straight unders. 8 straight unders when these 2 teams face head-to-head. They're in the Garden. Lots of fun. Everyone gets fired up to come play in the Garden. The Knicks coming off a huge win against the Indiana Pacers. And here's the thing about this spot for this Knicks team. No travel with rest. They last played on Friday. They busted up the Pacers. The Cavaliers last played on Saturday, traveled down to Washington. They've had 4 road games in their last 5, albeit only 3 of them regular season, right? So 2-1 road travel spots with this regular season. And I talk about the rest advantage. We've got 3 road games in 4 days for the Cavaliers. That doesn't ever work out very well in the NBA, specifically if you're the Knicks. When you're playing the same conference, the opponents on multiple road games in a row, and 3 in 4 days, the Knicks are in a perfect 10-0 spot in that opportunity. They bust up teams in travel. Plus, they've got rest advantage. What do they do when they've got rest advantage and no travel? Wow. Teams in that spot are 123 and 98 for, 123.98 was the score on that opportunity. I didn't write this number down. Shame on me. Nonetheless, we got a perfect undefeated team. We've got cash pouring in. We've got little to no line movement in a spot where it should be lower scoring. Yep. Taking them New York Knickerbockers in this game here. Just a quick peruse through the injury report. Doesn't really, Precious Achiuwa. Every time I think of Precious Achiuwa, I think precious little princess out there, just injured all the time. Mitchell Robinson, okay. Maxi Strus is really the guy on the Cavaliers side that's still going to be out of this game. And I think it's a tough matchup. It's a tight line. You got an undefeated team against the spread going on the road with bad travel and they're getting points. Well, why wouldn't you take those points? Because the Knicks thrive in that situation. They feast, and that's how we're going to feast when it comes to the NBA to pop it off. We'll take the Knicks. Told you we'll accelerate here because these seasons are just getting going. There's not as much data to work with, but the Rockets and the Spurs. Here's another little interesting travel spot because the Rockets and Spurs last played each other the other day in San Antonio. So it's the second leg of a back-to-back against a team with no travel. I wonder if there's a trend that falls under that criteria. We'll find out. 58% of the bets and 63% of the cash are on the Rockets. They're starting to move to threes. The total's dropping. We have 88% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the over. We've got reverse line movement. We've dropped down a half a point. You know, the Rockets, let me start with Wembanyama. He might be in bitch status here. I was excited for him earlier this season with the rebounds and the steals. Now, you bite me once, I don't forget. You bite me twice, I probably snap your neck. And he got me. He got me with it. It was we've even dialed it down to 10, and he was unable to get there. However, they were able to get there. Then Spurs were plus 1.5 point home dogs against the Rockets. They came back and won that game 109-66. Flip side, we got the Rockets in a 1-2 spot out there. Ultimately, looking at the injury report, like Sengun's the guy that should have a big day today. I'm not even sure if I said that right. Probably didn't. A lot of vowels in those spots for some of these guys, and probably not the best spot. Steven Adams has been, questionable for the start of the season till today. But we've got updates. We've got probable status for Dillon Brooks and Cam Whitmore for the Rockets. So guys coming in, getting healthy. Team starting to get it back together. Devin Vassell's going to be out again, and Trey Jones for the Spurs. And what do we have in those spots? With a team playing on the second leg of a back-to-back with no rest. Well, first and foremost, I call the San Antonio Spurs the one-trick ponies. Why? Because when they fall under that situation, they're 0-7 against the spread. So they showed them something that first game to win. And that second game, they just don't have anything left. They're one-trick ponies. They're 0-7 against the spread. They're losing by 14 points on average. On average out there. Now, not just to pick on the San Antonio Spurs, but when the Western Conference teams fall into that situation, back-to-back, off a loss, no travel. Overall in the NBA, this is one of them write-it-down situations. West Coast teams, back-to-back, on the road, no travel. 92-31. Probably the biggest trend going in the NBA is that bounce back, kick the shit out of a team. It's 8-2 in its last 10. 92-31. We're going to take the Rockets in this spot. We're going to take an opportunity with that monster. I told you guys the other day, my favorite play on the card was, forgot which one it was. But nonetheless, I think this is my favorite spot on the card tonight. We're going to take this, that and the Sharks. That one and this one are my favorite spots on the card tonight. That'll be the NBA for us. Told you we'll pick up a little pace here. We got 2 spots left to talk about. Let's move to the World Series and the Yankees and the Dodgers. Look, you guys saw these last 2 games, right? I'll give you the splits. 76% of the bets on the Yankees, but only 51% of the cash. I told my buddy the other day, I said, the Yankees shouldn't have scored in that first game. The reason the Yankees scored in that first game on Friday was because dickhead for the Dodgers leaves the pitcher out there, Flaherty, into that 6th inning. And then what happens? How many times do we see this time and time and time again? They leave him out there just a little too long, which was completely foolish because they did have a rested, ready to roll bullpen and probably the better bullpen between the two teams. So the first 5 people lose. Then the Yankees go up 2-1. Everyone's jacked up. Oh, the Yankees. And then Freddie Freeman crushes hopes and dreams. Was that the first walk-off grand slam in Major League Baseball World Series history? I think it might have been. Freddie fucking Freeman goes out there and busts him up. The worst part for me with Freddie Freeman is, I think I said it to you guys. I was like, look, it's Freeman and Betts. I don't fuck around with the Ohtani spots there because he's just too chalked. Flip side of things, Juan Soto did not get it there for us with the RBI. Saturday rolls around. What do we get on Saturday? Ugliness. More ugliness. I said this at the beginning. Somebody DM'd me, and I said, I just think the Dodgers have the pitching advantage across the board. Told you I was expecting Rodon to fade and fail. That being said, as we look at these games, we got a total that started at 8 and it's gone to 8.5. Everybody loves the over. Everybody. Let's take this over. Over. Red Rover. How does this game not go over? And I get it at first glance. Clark Schmidt, pile of shit, 3.86 ERA. And there's Walker Buehler. Buehler. Sporting himself a generous 6 ERA. Horrible spot with this Walker Buehler guy on the bump. So this might be the clear-cut pitching advantage, but I don't know. Look at the big dogs. First of all, you guys mentioned it in the chat. Ohtani sliding in and busting up his shoulder. Things you hate to see. I mean, not me, but I'm sure a lot of people hate to see that. Young man has been battered and tattered. They're already saying he's a Hall of Famer. Might as well just retire. But look at this. Batter versus pitcher. The only guy that's had any success, and I say success loosely, in this position, Kiki Hernandez. 7 at-bats, 1 hit for a 143. Zeros across the board. Flip side, intermittent success with this Yankees team against Walker Buehler. Now, we got Soto in the RBI spot already. Here's the way I attacked this game. I took some nerfies. Give me the no-run first inning. Why? Well, maybe you guys didn't hear. I'll buy into this hype a little bit. They got Jeter coming out here to throw the first pitch. Trying to fix this thing and get it rolling in the right direction out there. Derek Jeter's going to come throw the first pitch. I think that should gun both sides. Both sides should get fired up. I think they're going to come out there, and we've seen this. We're not really seeing leadoff situations between these two guys. Now, as time goes on, can they shit the proverbial bed? Of course. The Yankees play incredibly well in the favorite role. They're 6-0 as a favorite. They're 5-0 on the run line as a favorite as well. Major League Baseball has a little thing called trends. And when you look at trends and you see Game 3 playoffs off of back-to-back road losses, and now you're a home favorite, must happen quite a bit. It's bounce back city. It's bounce back baseball. 168-81 for those home favorites. 8-2 in its last 10 as well. Not going to attack the Yankees, though. I don't want to lay at minus 150. Frankly, I don't care if they get swept at this point. Fucking pissed me off after those first 2 games. But I got the no-run first inning. I'm going to go first 5 under 4.5. I know everybody loves the over. It's going to go over. And maybe it does. Walker Buehler is a pile of shit, but it's when the coaching change takes place and they bring out the bullpen that we start seeing runners getting scores. 5th inning, 1-0 game, that first game. Yeah. Even if it's 3-1, we're still going to sail under that 4.5. I had to go over to Bet Online for this other one. Most total bases from hits. I told you I was going to try to pick on Ohtani using Judge, or I think I said I was going to pick on Judge. I didn't mention the Ohtani piece. Any number of things can happen. They could get Ohtani in there for 1 hit, decide it's not worth it, and put him on ice so they get him for the later part of the series. And Judge has done shit. He's milk carton bound. But most total bases from hits. As long as Ohtani goes out there and gets 1 at-bat, if he gets out and Judge gets back in and stays in that game and gets 1 hit, minus 127 to take advantage of that little sweet spot. Made a ton of sense for me. Shout out to Ramon Scott. It says Ja Morant is officially listed as out. The line is down to Memphis -5. Nut Flush. This is, I'm on the over a half of triples at +506. KV. Score first inning. It'll be 0-0. First inning. KV. She says Bueller burnt me last time. Come on, New York. More hits, +106. Yankees win by run line. New York -1 parlay with Stanton or Soto. It'll be interesting. Mick D's in the house. Says everyone's on the Yankees set. Not everyone, Mr. D. Not everyone. Not ready to go anoint them game 3 winners just yet, but I think there's an opportunity for these guys to catch this win here tonight. I'm not sure that they do over the long haul of the game, but I'm going to take this first 5 under 4.5. I'm going to take that most total bases from hits. I took it on bet. Again, that was a bet online number. I'm taking the Nerfy in the first inning. I think there is that Jeter fires him up, gets everybody ready to go. Let's talk about this last game. And then we'll get you guys up out of here ready to go because we've got action. Giants and Steelers. Can I use the same line again? It's 21 straight wins for the Steelers on Monday Night Football. There's no way the Giants win this game. Didn't you see what Danny Dimes 1-15 on Monday Night Football? Huh? Let me tell you this. Them giant castles in the desert aren't continuing to be rebuilt on a annual basis because they just give away that golden ticket. Right now, you got 81% of the bets and 78% of the cash on the Steelers. Now, it did move from 4 to 8 or 4 to 6. The total, 42.5, has plummeted down to 37s. So interesting spot, though. It did bounce back up to 37.5 before coming back down to 37. 85% of the bets and 73% of the cash are on the over. Where do you want to start? How about the balls on Mike Tomlin to take out Justin Fields and swap in Russ Wilson? Let Russ cook, they say. I was blown away, and he beat him up. He torched them boys, which opens up windows for us out there because the margin of victory in that game activates a killer trend force. 37-15, them Steelers torched them Giants. Remember, what do we say about Aaron Rodgers? He's got that stupid look on his face that's like, oh, we're down again? That's what he did yesterday. And he did it, of course, against the Steelers the last time out. And the Giants have 10 combined points in the last 2 games. 28-3 to the Eagles. 17-7 to the Cincinnati Bengals. Difficult situation. Danny Dimes. How does this game go? How do we think it goes? Well, I'll tell you this. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. And this kind of threw me for a little, I was perplexed, to say the least. There's a coaching battle between Tomlin and Dable right now. On the surface, you'd have to say, well, shit. Pittsburgh's got the advantage. I would have thought that hands down. It's not. The advantage goes to Dable. Tomlin versus non-division off a win with a line that's greater than a -5 is only 14-31 against the spread. Oh, I didn't write the Dable spot down. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Where'd you go? Why would I have closed it out? There it is. Brian Dable. A road dog off a loss with a line greater than 2.5. 7-2 against the spread, but it's the margin of victory that stood out to me. Almost 8 points a game. Coaching advantage. So now I thought, originally, Steelers are home. They've got the opportunity. Dable will use that coaching advantage and make changes at halftime. Well, then I looked into it. Home favorites, the Steelers at home, 0-4 in the first half of games. 0-4, them Steelers, in the first half of football games. They're also 0-4 against the spread against the NFC East. And we talked about this last week when we talked about the Vikings and the Niners spot. Not just the fact that they had just played the Detroit Lions, but believe you me, teams are built to compete against their division. They play them 6 times a year, 2 games a pop. Then they play everybody else. And that's why they have the parity in scheduling, because they're built to fight within the division. So if they're a bad matchup outside of the division against a Giants team or an Eagles team, well, a lot should hold true against a situation like the New York Giants. Now, I do believe, look, the Steelers at home, Monday Night Football, 16-8. It's phenomenal. It's a great number. They're 8-0 to the under. And I talked about the margin in that last game, if they bust a team up by 9 or more points that previous game, and they're a favorite of less than 14, they're perfect 8-0 to the under that following game. So how to attack this game and how did I want to get involved with it? Well, a couple thoughts I had for some player props here. I might put a same game parlay together as well. I'm still not entirely there. Danny Dimes has got to be a dink and dunker. There's going to be a shit ton of pass rushing from this Pittsburgh team. If he's going to go out there and win the game, he's got to be completing passes, but they're going to be small passes. He'll probably get sacked as shit ton. He'll probably end up sitting there with 6 or 7 sacks on the day. I hate to say that. But that means they're going to have to open up that running game a little bit. And you got a guy like Tracy that can go out there and fire. Now, everyone's saying neighbors. I don't know. Who I do like in this game is Najee Harris. I mentioned this before. Why? Because the running attack, the running defense for the Giants is the worst in the NFL. I mentioned that. And the big thing here is, from a Najee Harris perspective, Justin Fields was that dual threat guy. He's kind of a shit passer, but he runs the ball a ton like we saw him do in Chicago. And that took away from carries from Najee Harris. Now you put Russell Wilson in there. Old man time ain't running around there unless he's got to dodge a sack. Probably going to get a lot of handoffs. The Giants allow 138 yards a game on the rushing side of things. Last 2 games, back-to-back, their opponents have gotten 100 or more yards. Very difficult situation out there. The way I chose to attack this game, I'm going to do it. 2 things I'm going to do. 1, I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm taking the +6. That's too many points. And then I teased it with the under. I got the Giants +12 and the under 43.5. I do think the under reigns true. We've just seen a shit ton of unders between these 2 teams. We've got the trends that show the unders. But I'll take the 6. I'll take the Giants +12 and the under 43. Do I think they'll win on the money line, the Giants? Maybe. Because everyone's talking about how poorly they do on prime time in Monday Night Football. And, the thing about Danny Dimes, he's a pile of shit at home. I mean, I don't know about his physical home, but I mean, when he's playing in MetLife Stadium, he's a piece of shit. He can't throw touchdowns. He can't find the end. He can't even see it for being his home stadium. But he's not at home. He's on the road in a spot where the Steelers match up poorly against this NFC East. I think it's a great opportunity. Like I said, we've got the Najee Harris touchdown. I've got one. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together a same game parlay and I'll post it in our community tab. And what I'll do is I'll add, I've got like 5 spots that I want to tack in here. I was just waiting to see how the line was going to move. So I'll add it to @SportsMoneyWins on Twitter. You guys will see the notification if you follow @SportsMoneyWins on Twitter. And I'll put that same game parlay out there because I've been firing on those lately too. And I think based on the way I see this game going down, we're going to catch some great prices from it. So that's the time of the show where we got to go. Can't got to go home, but you can't stay up here. Although my man Billy Briz coming in. What's up, Billy? Thank you for popping in. Says Lakers team total under. Memphis and the Bulls over. Christian Braun for his points, rebounds, and assists says good luck tonight. Shout out to you, Billy Briz, my dude. Appreciate you rocking in with us. Shout out to KV. Shout out to Ramon Scott, Johnny C, NJ Stryker. Yay, man. Appreciate you guys. Nut Flush coming in says, I think his numbers are 41 and 17 on the road. Touchdown to pick. Yep. Let's go, you guys. I hope you guys have a big winning night. Unless you're on the other side of me. Mr. D says, Wandale Robinson, props for dink and dunks. Absolutely. Reception should be opened up for that guy. Appreciate you guys, man. Hopefully you guys found the show beneficial. RVD 420's in the house. Says, what's up, Mikey? The Giants' last 2 games scored 10 points. Pittsburgh in the last 2 games scored 30 plus. And the Giants suck. They do suck. You guys may be laughing at me after tonight with this one, but hey, I'm putting it on the line. We're trying to get a bunch of this big cash tonight, but I think it's calculated. Shout out to Coin. It's giving us the Grizz under 233.5. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Hopefully you hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door. We need you guys to show the support. It's a big card. It took a lot of time to put it together. Certainly want to win, but let us know if you enjoy the programming, if you like this kind of a card. If you want us to trim it back to 3 or 4, just don't hit the thumbs up button. That's fine. We can do that too. Save me a hell of a lot of time. But I want to make some cash tonight. I hope you guys do too. And until tomorrow, on behalf of Sports Money, check out my man, Ramon Scott. He'll be rocking tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with the morning steam, giving you the first looks out there to cook the books. And until then, good luck with your bets tonight. Good luck. Have a cocktail. Think of Sports Money.